Episode 29 of Roswell Conspiracies is also literally about vampires. If you love vampires, then these episodes will be absolutely amazing. But even if you aren't, each of these episodes brings something new and unique into the vampire mythos. We had vampires fusing with Banshee. We had vampires trying to enslave a nuclear alien. And now we have a 4,000-year-old winged vampire that ruled ancient Egypt, coming to the present and trying to enslave humanity. The episode starts with a vampire breaking into a museum and trying to find an Ankh key and people with pharaoh bloodlines. Fitz, Nima, Nick, and Shalane go to Cairo. The reason isn't made clear, but Nima introduces Fitz to her parents, and they, especially her father, hate him. But they are interrupted by a group of vampires that have learned that Nima's family has pharaoh blood within them. Nima is captured, and Fitz, Nima's parents, Nick and Shalane go after them with the Ankh key that Nima's father had in his house. They track them to the pyramids with a small army of Alliance agents, only to find that the vampires had awakened Sathaka, a 4,000-year-old winged vampire hellbent on enslaving humanity. He also bit Nima and enslaved her. He gets the key and uses it to activate his mechanical sphinx, and also to send a sky beam to connect to satellites to ultimately enslave humanity. But he is foiled when Nima breaks free of his control, and Nick, Shalane, and some Alliance agents send him into his own projected sky beam, killing him. This episode now fully realizes the entire vampire lore. So apparently the earliest record of vampires was in ancient Egypt 4,000 years ago, where Sathaka and his father Set enslaved humanity and used them as puppets as these pharaohs ruled Egypt. We could assume that only a small number of vampires landed in Egypt, hence why the Amazon was the first vampire colony. The fact that Roswell Conspiracies is now mashing genres and still making it work is a real testament to this show's creativity. I mean, a 4,000-year-old Egyptian vampire is an insane idea that only this show could pull off. The setup, mythological figures are aliens, allows ideas like these to work. Sathaka is just a cool villain from his design. He has a typical pharaoh headdress with wings, and his red scales work really well here. To his motivation, he predicted humans creating satellites, but because humans were not advanced enough yet, he slumbered for 4,000 years to get a time period that would allow him to use his device. That is one hardcore vampire. Also, the scale of this episode is really massive, and even with the limited animation, I'm still immersed in the fight scenes. I'd rate this episode a 7.5 out of 10. I thought this episode was great during my first viewing, but now I realize that there really isn't any exceptional writing in this episode. No social commentary or reverse psychology. I just think it's effective from a concept and action standpoint.